End quote. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Lloyd Doggett of Texas. He's a member of the House Ways and Means Committee and the House Budget Committee, and congressional historian Norm Ornstein. He's an emeritus scholar at the American Enterprise Institute. Good evening to both you gentlemen. Thank you for being with us. Congressman Doggett, let me start with you because I always come to you and turn to you when it comes to the process of things. This is not that complicated. Congress appropriates. The president is not in a position to decide that that appropriation is not meant for where he wants it to go and to redirect it somewhere else. That's just not a thing he's allowed to do.
Exactly right, Lawrence. You can go back to ancient English history and know that it was always said that the parliament had the power of the purse to restrain the king. Well, we have a self-described king now, and this Congress has been steadily seeing its power eroded, whether it's the way it's given away authority on tariffs and allowed him to raise tariff taxes to the highest level since 1934, or in this case, the power of the purse directly in appropriation. I'm concerned not only about the so-called pocket rescission, but what it says about the willingness of Congress to give away its most important power. Already having voted once this summer to rescind the money that funds NPR, PBS, and vital foreign assistance. Foreign assistance cuts that one estimate is that as many as 22,000 people every year will lose their lives because of this sudden cutback in vital health assistance and other forms of foreign assistance. I think the president's picked on foreign assistance because he thinks that's the most vulnerable and the most misunderstood by the public. But next it may be education, which he promised in July he would do, or some other vital service to show that he alone is the one unrestrained master of government and there are no real checks and balances.
Norm, I think the congressman makes a good point. Foreign assistance, including things like USAID, it's hard to find an audience of people, and there were some protesters, but generally speaking, people don't know what that is because it's sort of government at work, right? It's a relatively small amount of our federal budget that went toward doing things that A, kept people alive, B, identified America with keeping them healthy and alive, C, kept pandemics and diseases in check. It was a pretty good return on investment, but it just was a thing that worked in the background that most people didn't know about. So I think the congressman's right. Go after things that people don't feel necessarily affect them on a daily basis, and it's the soft underbelly of taking Congress's authority.
So a couple of points to make here, Ali. One is, for years, foreign aid was unpopular with Americans because they thought it was 25 to 50% of the federal budget. It's less than 1%. I often would joke in the past, let's compromise with them, then we'll just make it 5% of the budget. But we have another reality here, which is that DOGE, with Elon Musk and Marco Rubio, eviscerated foreign aid at the beginning of this administration, and we know that at least 300,000 people died in Africa and other places in the world of starvation, AIDS, and other horrible diseases. So taking another whack at this is unconscionable. But it is also, as Lloyd said, and unfortunately both of us are old enough to remember when the Budget and Impoundment Control Act was implemented after Richard Nixon tried to do this. It is black letter constitutional law that Congress has the power of the purse. And it's important to remember that we're going to have another fight over appropriations coming up before September ends. And this is a kind of bait and switch. We have Senate Republicans saying, let's work with the Democrats. And then we get spending supposedly done. And then it's switched because Trump says, I'm not going to spend it. And the Senate Republicans go along. So it's a real test for Senate Democrats going forward.
And we can have this discussion another time. In fact, I think we might be having it tomorrow morning. That's a discussion about what Democrats need to do. But Congressman Doggett, this decision that was made by the appeals court for the D.C. Circuit tonight about Donald Trump's tariffs being illegal is fundamentally based on the same thing. It's the idea that it's not an emergency act. It's something that, if you wish to happen, needs to be discussed and approved by Congress to have these tariffs, because you're basically raising a tax on American people and you don't have the power of the purse. So it's all of a piece.
It's all of a piece. It is about someone who wants to be unrestrained as the sole power, authoritarian dictator from more than day one. It's the precedent he's setting here. Pick on foreign aid. The specific aid he picked on in this current $5 billion cut, by the way, some of it's for democracy promotion, some of it's for international peacekeeping. He doesn't believe in democracy in America, and he is willing to find himself as an ally with every warmongering dictatorship around the world. So I guess it's not a surprise that he wants to go after this. But my basic concern is that this Congress, it's great that Senator Collins spoke out about this. The question is, when we get together next week, will Congress do anything about it? Or will it just roll over and play dead as it has on tariffs and on one issue after another? Will there be any check and balance left in our government? Or are we turning over all authority to this king or dictator to do the job? I'm concerned that Republican colleagues will let him get away with this. There's no reason that we couldn't act in the next month to put a stop to this illegal and unconstitutional act. I'm not sure Republicans will permit us to do that.
Yeah, essentially, you've got till September 30th to do it. It's technically 45 days, but September 30th. Lawrence Tribe did bring up in our last conversation that Thomas Paine asked James Madison what's to prevent the president from becoming a king. And James Madison said, well, he doesn't have the power of the purse. That'll take care of it. James Madison is rolling over in his grave tonight. Thanks to both of you guys. Norm, I think I'm seeing you tomorrow, Norm Ornstein and Congressman Lloyd Doggett. Likelihood I'm seeing you this weekend, too, because we talk a lot on the weekend. So I appreciate both of you guys.